I know Dale's here and Raz is here.
Hi, everyone. This is Michael Condon, representing TooMedToo Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And this is the Holocron house. This is going to be the last session of the art of the Rise of Skywalker. Maybe, oh, there. Rural Farm Boy.
Hey.
How you doing, Anthony?
Afternoon. Star Wars, and that's how I'm doing.
All right. Well, this is the going to be the last one of this book. So if you're just coming in now, you have about 10 of these beforehand. So, go back and catch them on there. Do whatever you need to do. And this is where we're starting off. Industrial Light and Magic, the post-production. So we're running a couple minutes behind, so we're just going to get into this, and we'll chat later on towards the end, if that's all right with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ooh, the post-production. This is some of the stuff we don't really get to see too much of. This is going to be good.
All right. So let me know if there's a glare or anything. You guys need me to, take a better look or a closer look or, whatever you guys need to do, because, I do this for you, not for me. I already have the book. So this is just to hang out with my Star Wars friends and talk some Star Wars. But all right, we'll just show this picture over here. We'll come in a little closer so you can see that. It looks like we got the Falcon, and it's being chased by 2 TIE fighters. So there's that.
Maybe from one of them scenes when they were. Maybe from one of them scenes where they were light speed skipping. Maybe.
It really does look like it could be. Let's see. It says Tunnel Vision number 3 by Zavala is the artist for that. So, I mean, it could well be that's what it is. Maybe we'll give us another little hint on that one. And just to let everybody know, this is brought to you by my patrons. I have a Patreon. You just go to patreon.com/TooMedToo, and you can sign up there. We'll have some tiers coming off shortly. I'm just doing some final touches on those. And, that doesn't go to any of my collecting or acquiring of Star Wars merchandise. That goes to upgrading computers and memory and RAM and cameras and GoPros and all that good stuff for you. But all right, let's get on to some Art Makes You Smart, a little bit of reading for you. In case you want to read along, in case you can read along. Not that you're illiterate, but I don't know how the camera sometimes does with the, and if you are illiterate, nothing against you. That's why I'm doing this. I'm going to read it to you. So it's even better. Principal photography of the Rise of Skywalker. Principal photography of the Rise of Skywalker began on August 1st, 2018, with J.J. Abrams' main unit shoot Finn Poe. Oh, there's no comment there. Finn, Poe Dameron, Chewbacca, and the alien Claude inside the Millennium Falcon cockpit in Pinewood Studios B stage, a scene that would ultimately be cut from the film. Oh, okay. Maybe there's a director's cut. You want to yell about that, Earl Farm Boy?
There is a director's cut. There is a director's cut.
Oh, there is? Where is that director's cut?
You can find it on DVDs and Blu-rays worldwide.
Oh, you mean the shit they already gave us? So stop crying, everybody. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, my 2 videos that I made yesterday that got flagged for inappropriate content because sometimes I use vernacular that might not be appropriate for young children, but this isn't a children's show. So those both, I challenged them, and those both are no longer flagged. So,
now it's
another
not
one.
Now
Bad guys.
both of them. No, it's
It was both of them. It was the
jeez.
septic tank. The septic tank usually gets flagged as soon as I put it up because it says "not safe for work" right in the title of it. So they usually flag it as soon as it comes up. I'd say there's a 50-50 chance. Like as soon as I post it, within a few minutes, it gets flagged, and then I just challenge it. And usually it takes a day or two, but last night they were done immediately. So, anyway, sorry. Let's get back to this bad boy. Finish up this book. I mean, it's a chapter, so if you're watching along or playing along at home, it's page 230, but it's not hard to find that. Just go in the last chapter. The main unit shifted from the Falcon to Stage 1's First Order conference room aboard Kylo Ren's Star Destroyer on Monday, August 6th. In the week that followed, the same set would be converted and redressed as the Star Destroyer bridge for shooting August 13th through 17th. Oh, I talked about my Patreon, but I didn't get to say thank you all to all my patrons on there. We have Kylo Ren Flores, Kylo Customs, Mr. Rez, Chris from Kentucky, and Rural Farm Boy. All right, back to business. Co-production designer Kevin Jenkins reflected the First Order and Resistance are in a battle of attrition. I kept looking back at the original Star Wars when you first saw a stormtrooper in the desert and his outfit was just beaten to death. That's the look I want. Less of the pure vision of Star Wars design, more back onto the very lived-in, grimy, believable universe that was brilliantly captured in Star Wars and Empire. I got a big clean in Return of the Jedi. Oh, it got a bit clean in Return of the Jedi. It's quite hard because everyone's trying very hard to make it perfect. I've had to stand there with the painters and the directors and say, yeah, muck it up more. I'll tell you when to stop. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're at a 3. When you hit 10, give me a call. It's really brought the set to life. In the midst of those two Star Destroyer sequences, the main unit moving to Stage 2 from August 13th to 17th, where the creature department's I'll just making words up again, where the creature department's practical Vexus Serpent waited in the tunnel under Pisana. Victoria Mahoney's second unit began shooting on August 14, filming any remaining cleanup shots in the same Stage 2 tunnels. On August 20 and 21, main unit relocated to Ivanhoe Beacon at the National Trust Altheridge Estate in Buckinghamshire, Fireshire, England. A grassy hill overlooking the surrounding countryside, less than an hour north of studios. There, the aftermath of Rose crash land onto Kefir, including their initial meeting with Jana and their Arbank horse tribe was filmed. Returning to Pinewood on August 22nd, the main focused on scenes in Star Destroyer corridors on Stage 3, the Star Destroyer torture room on D stage, and the barnacle-encrusted and candid second Death Star corridors and wreckage on in-campus. Meanwhile, the Iron Set Decoration Department put the finishing touches on the Resistance-based interiors and Stage 5, the Roger Moore stage, including the massive 96.5 or Tantive 4 set building. Oh, I stuck one in there without Anthony yelling at me about the pronunciation of that ship. We've invented a few things. Wars models are fractal. None of them line up with each other on set. None of them. That's the fun of Star Wars. We embrace that. The paint job very much replicates the original. Gathering another 40 years. There's a story there, like a child. That's like child. Wow. there's a story there in that childlike part of my mind that goes, I wonder where they found it, but I don't really want to spend the entirety of September bouncing between the Resistance base interior set on Stage 5 and the Resistance base exterior set, including the full Resistance A-Wing, X-Wing, Y-Wing, and partial Millennium Falcon vehicle builds in Black Park, famous as the shooting location for the woods of Transylvania and countless Hammer film production horror films of the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Meanwhile, the Stage 3 Star Destroyer corridor were configuring the Star Destroyer hangar, while the Stage 2 Snake Tunnel set was struck to accommodate Kylo Ren's White Sanctuary room for main unit shooting from October 2 to 12. But the primary focus of all the Rise of Skywalker departments in October was the implementing late October and November shoot of Wadi Rum near Aqaba, Jordan. I like the inflection because I don't know the word Aqaba.
Aqaba.
We filmed in Jordan for 3 weeks. But there were 5 months before that of an enormous amount of work, Jenkins said. We basically had to carry a city in the desert to accommodate over 1,000 people. Wadi Rum was also a shooting location more than 3 years earlier, July 23rd and 24th, 2015, from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, as Captain Cassian Andor, Jyn Erso, and droid K2SO overlooked the city of Jeddah. And Patrick brought up to me yesterday when we were talking about the way that the Death Stars, the way that the Star Destroyers were made in the round ring, and that in Rogue One they were made the same way, but they were made out. So he told me, he said, yeah, grab your Art of Rogue One book. And I said, you know what? I do not have that book.
Ooh.
That's one of the ones that's on my list. I'm just waiting for it. Well, you know what? It'll be here tomorrow. Just saying.
Nice.
So yeah, we can take a look at that and maybe talk a little bit about that too sometime. It'll be a lot easier once I get my real computer back from the shop.
Oh, you're still working off.
Actually do things.
You're still working off your notebook.
I'll be working off my notebook for probably at least another week, if not up to a month, because they're going to have to send it away. If they have to send it away, they have to send it away to wherever. Geek Squad has to send it away to the real Geek Squad. Then they have to do their evaluation on it, and then they have to send it away for the parts, and they have to wait for the parts. Then they have to fix it, then they have to send it back. So, it's 3 or 4 days here and there. Well, those 3 or 4 days for seven or 8 things end up being almost a month. Or I could get lucky and it's a week. So we'll see. But the second unit traveled to Jordan on October 8 in advance of the main unit running speeder chase test from October 11th through 19th, wrapping up the Pinewood Studio shoot for October. Abrams' main unit filmed Millennium Falcon hold on corridor interiors C stage from October 10 through 12, the helmet forge of D stage October 11 and 12, and the interior of the treadable vehicle with returning cast member Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian on Stage 4 from October 15 to 16. 2 days later, Abrams and the main unit relocation to Jordan for their 3-week stint in Wadi Rum. The first shot overturned to visual effects supervisor Roger Guthrie, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Star Trek 2009, Star Wars The Force Awakens ILM team in San Francisco occurred on October 9. The visual effects shot included the opening flashback lightsaber duel, Rey training in the jungle outside of the Resistance base, the light speed skipping Falcon chase, the Vexus snake pit, a scene between General Hux and Allegiant General Pride, and Rey clamoring inside the second Death Star.
Wow.
So they were kind of busy in post production. It seems like
just a little.
Let's see. we'll get this looking a little better for you. See if I can fix that, maybe, so you can get the whole shot, and then I'll move it along as I do. You know, if I had a second camera, I could just switch back and forth. That would be a lot easier. But all right, yeah. So they seem to be quite busy there.
Get a few more folks in Patreon. Let's buy Michael a new camera, another camera, a second cam.
That would sure be nice. All right, so there we go. It looks like we have. This was an interesting conversation that people had before the movie came out, because they were trying to figure out, is that a planet? Is that an iceberg floating in space? It looks almost like you can see here, like a water line maybe, and this is the reflection underneath the water. But as we know, it would be the opposite way. You know, you only see, like they say, the tip of the iceberg because it's all underneath the water. But
as I recall, that there is the Sinta Glacier colony.
Okay, and then we have over here, we got some more shots right there. So this up here we have Skip Interior version 17 by Sheffels. We are calling this the Spiceberg right now. I think ILM Visual Effects Supervisor Pat Tabak came up with that. We kept saying Spaceberg, but he changed it to Spiceberg. Let's see if
I love some of the production names they come up with before they actually give it the in-galaxy name. I love a lot of the different things.
Well, hell,
like half the names. How we knew Walrus Man for the longest time.
Half the names I come up with for things on the show.
That?
I mean, they can't. Half the names I come up with for things because I don't remember their names, so I just kind of make up a name. And I never use this. I hardly ever use the same name twice. I just keep going, and I'll call something. I'll call an object or something or a character something, and it won't even have the same name through the show. But you'll get my message from how I feel about it. The idea of transparency. We've been really focused on where we put the sun to give it the most magical feel. It's definitely pushing reality, which we are a little worried about, but I think it pushes it just enough to keep it within the Star Wars universe, we hope. And then as we get closer to it, we start to see how it really functions. And that's from Klein. And then these pictures over here are the Ice Tunnel Beats by Chris Voy. All right, and then you have, I gotta move this over a little bit. I can't get the whole thing in there. Try and get rid of a little bit of the glare for you. All right, so this looks like we have the Millennium Falcon down here. Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah, it's going in.
The Millennium Falcon going in. And it looks like we have a little bit more of the, as they were calling it, the Spiceberg over here. Oh, that's not too good of a picture here. And right there. Let's see what we got. Oh, let's see what we got. What's that over there that we see? Oh. You know what that is. Everybody should know what that is.
It's a major Star Wars award right there is what that is.
You know what? You are 100% correct on that. Okay, so try and get the glare off of that. Move that over there for you. Get a little better shot. Okay. Approach version 2 by Voy. We are banging our heads against the wall. How do we get it to look like Star Wars and super relatable? I think we are going through some of the New Hope Death Star shots. Just do that, but change it to ice. Laughs. Ha ha ha. It's taking those familiar tropes and viewpoints and playing it off of them. Whether that's shorts in the movie or not, JJ really responded to the look and the vibe. And that's Klein up there. And then this one over here, we have Iceberg version 2 by Zavalia and Ralph McQuarrie. Oh, so this must be the McQuarrie drawing that they repurposed for this. One note that came back to us was we need to make sure that this feels very Star Wars, even though it's a whole new thing that we've never seen before. What better way to do that is just go back to the well of McQuarrie structures. We literally went through the McQuarrie book, Abrams books, Star Wars art, Ralph McQuarrie, tagged a bunch of buildings and rotated the book 180 degrees. Do that one, and do that one. Klein. Speaking of this book, I may have ordered this book today. I'm pointing out, like you can see, the Abrams book, Star Wars art, Ralph McQuarrie. I either have that book or I either ordered that today or the McQuarrie archive book. One of the two. I'd have to double check on that for you, but I don't know if you guys know.
Oh, I did not know there was some McQuarrie archive.
I saw it today when I was
an archive book of his work.
Well, I saw it today because the Star Wars archive book, I bid on it on eBay today because the book's like, I mean, depending on the prices day by day can really vary. It can be $250, $300. It can be $400 or $500, just depending on what's out there for the market. And it really does change that much just in a day or two. So you just got to sit there and watch the prices. But I found one on eBay and I put a bid on it, and we'll see if they take it. Because I put in way under what they're asking for, but that's what I'll do. I don't need the book right now. It's not like I have to have it for something specific besides the fact that I want it. So, I'll sit on it for a year or 2 years or however long I have to get the right price. That's what I did with that. Dressing the Galaxy. It was a $500 book that I got for $100 because I just sat there and waited, 2.5 years for an amazing price. Anyways, getting back to this beautiful book right here. We have the Iceberg version 3 right here, and that is Zavalia and McQuarrie. Whoa, we got lots of words coming on here. I wasn't expecting that. That was a really short one. Well, we got a lot more words coming, folks. So I thought this was going to be a really quick one. It seems like it's going to be the normal size one, just a lot less pages. So here we go with what seems to be the Millennium Falcon. This seems to be a lot of the, like Royal Farm Boy said, the light speed skipping possibly.
Or the cavern chase when they're going in.
Yep. One of the two here. And then we got this guy right here. So let's see what we got. Got a little glare. Maybe I can get rid of that glare for you. Let's see. It sounds weird, but the Patreon helps out. The Patreon, that money that comes in, I bought these book stands, so I'm not. So you get a little better view than previously done. Let's see if I can get rid of that. And I think there's going to be a glare.
Yeah, I was going to say you're welcome for the book stand.
All right. Well, I thank you, everyone, my patrons that are in here right now. I think I have 3 of them in here, including we've got Rural Farm Boy, we got Mr. Ez, and we have Kylo Ren Flores. So the Ice Tunnel Cutaway version 1B by Zavalia. We're playing with this idea of transparency and reflectivity in the ice tunnels, and maybe we'll see as lasers streak by reflections of it on the ceiling. The idea was expressed to us to make sure that it's bright. It's not like a dark tunnel. The sun is able to really flood in the bounce light around it. So that's been very successful. We don't know how much it's going to be seen, but we're offering a bunch of fun ideas. That's Klein. Then down here, this big picture that we have by Zavalia again, Ice Refinery version 14. We don't even know what function it serves, so we're coming up with stuff, but we want to show enough human impact on it. We don't want it to be just a complete asteroid. Have they gorged out some pieces in a very geometric way as a juxtaposition
Oh, juxtaposition.
as a
Okay.
juxtaposition to its beautiful juxtaposition to its beautiful ice shapes, Klein. And then we have these pictures over here. Falcon Dish version 1A. Zavalia. The Falcon Dish is now the classic round one. I'm going to push for putting it in a few different labels or something on it to set it apart. This isn't the very exact same dish, but it's off the same shelf. And that's Klein. Okay, over here, we got another one. Okay, set that up for y'all. All right. Let me grab a little sippy sip of my beverage here. That, I don't know if, obviously it's not your people's first time, so on brand for me. Doing it or not, there is no try. Little Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary edition glass with my ginger ale in it. Been drinking some ginger ale. Little Canada Dry. My favorite ginger ale. From October 29th to October 9th, 2018, The Rise of Skywalker director J.J. Abrams and second unit director Victoria Mahoney shot Pasadena scenes on location in the Wadi Rum Valley in southwestern Jordan, including the Aki Aki Festival, speeder chase vehicle stunts, chase elements in front of green screens to capture the unique light of the locale, the standoff between Rey and Kylo Ren and his TIE fighter, and our protagonist getting sucked beneath the sands of the desert. With only a little more than a month before the scheduled winter holiday break, both the main unit and the second unit hurried back to Pinewood Studios on the weekend of November 10th and 11th. Rey and Kylo Ren's epic duel on the broken surface of the second Death Star was filmed from November 14th to 23rd and December 8th through 11th in Pinewood Studios' Padlock Tank, one of Europe's largest exterior water tanks. Eunice Huthart, our stunt coordinator, is amazing, co-writer Chris Terrio said. And I think they did a really extraordinary stuff out there. They want it to be the saber battle to end all saber battles. And we've been promising it, not only for the movie, but really the entire trilogy. Meanwhile, in Pinewood's 4.3-acre outdoor north lot, the finishing touches were being put on the snowy city of Kadimi, a 360-degree set with 3 stone stairwells rising out of the main courtyard, surrounded by 30 building facades. Main unit night shoots on the North Lot ran from November 26 to December 12, interspersed with day shoots of Babu Frick's droid workshop on nearby B stage. Scenes in the second Death Star throne room between Rey and Kylo Ren were filmed on Stage 4 from December 6 to 14. Returning to neighboring Black Park, Kylo and Knights of Ren battle on Mustafar was shot on December 13-14. In the interim, the second and third visual effects team effects shot turnover to ILM were delivered on November 16 and December 17, respectively, covering scenes including Pasana Festival and chase scenes shot in Jordan and Rey and Kylo Ren's standoff on the Star Destroyer hangar and Death Star jetty. Rick Carter recalled the Episode 1 prophecy was that a Skywalker was somehow going to help balance the Force. Rian Johnson opened Star Wars up to the possibility if Rey is not a Skywalker by blood, then being a mythological Skywalker is something you can aspire to achieve in your life, which I think is great. It's not only your destiny based upon birth. Maybe the life lesson in this one is that sometimes you have to go beyond what seems like a finite destiny. That's what it is when that's what it is then to be a dreamer and to be a Skywalker. So that's interesting. Terrio had, even though Terrio wrote, and I like the product we got versus what Terrio wrote. They had that idea going into it, so he already knew that Rey wasn't a Skywalker, but she was someone else. So that opens up a whole new can because of all the controversy that when they decided when they decided Rey was a Palpatine or not. Because we have a lot of conflicting stories on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that JJ had it in his back pocket when he was making the first movie. Well, the seventh movie, I should say, the first in this sequel trilogy. So after a relentless 5 months of shooting, Abrams and the Rise of Skywalker team took a short 2-week break, including Christmas and New Year's Eve, before hitting the ground running in 2019. From January 7 to 16, The Rise of Skywalker became the second Star Wars film after Rogue One to utilize Cardington Studios' massive 98,000 square foot hangar 2. A mere hour's drive from Pinewood Studio, the Star Destroyer surface set measured 40 feet high and 250 feet long in length, with over 300 feet of soft flooring for the 30 horses, portraying airbags to run on. There's a full-size cannon there that rotates to fire at the airbags, said Jenkins. They're working airlocks that the troop came out of. The trenches are between the plates, and you see the score lines on the Star Destroyer model. So it's very World War I, World War II on the surface. Kind of like a lot of what we got in The Last Jedi. Very, on Crate was very reminiscent of the World War I or World War II battles that we've seen footage of. Well, not really, pictures, I guess. I guess pictures do pictures count as footage, I guess? I don't know. You guys, let me know, do pictures count as footage? Like if I said, or would that just be pictures and footage would actually be later on when we had some video on that? But on January 10th, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega took a break from their Rise of Skywalker shooting duties to film Rey and Finn scenes for the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Rise of the Resistance attraction on Stage 1, including automated dialogue replacement ADR and the Ken Adam building, following several Starfighter interior shoots on Stage 4. The main return for the third and final location shot on nearby Black Park on January 24th. This time, Kylo Ren's encounter with the Oracle, which we do not end up getting. Abrams' main unit also revisited the Paddock tank the following day for Ray, Finn, and Jana's skimmer journey to the second Death Star and 48-foot vehicle fixed. I'm sorry, the 48-foot vehicle build affixed to a powerful motion rig. For the remainder of principal photography in January and early February, scenes on Exegol shot on stage 2. On stages 3, 4, and 5 dominated the schedule. Finally on Friday, February 15th. Oh, you got everybody knows what the next day is. February 16th. Hint, hint. We all know what that is. Where to send those birthday presents. The 131st day of principal photography. Main unit officially wrapped on the rise of Skywalker, with Abrams writing this note to his team on the final call sheet. Dear best crew of all time, I'm speechless and sad. Despite an desire to go home, the idea of not seeing you all every day is a heartbreaker. I can't possibly thank you enough. You are miraculous. With love and endless gratitude, JJ. The thing about Star Wars is the endless and the. Okay, let's start over here. The thing about Star Wars is that it's endless in that it frees your imagination in all kinds of ways, verbally, visually, and emotionally, Terrio reflected. This sounds pretentious or grand, but I think it's true. Rick Carter mused, you could call the whole essence of Star Wars A New Hope. You could call it a glimmer of hope. Where does the glimmer of hope come from, and in what form? That's the storytelling part that is so subtle. And that's where George excelled. The overall conclusion to the story of the Return of the Jedi that was so fulfilling and satisfying. That's what The Rise of Skywalker is up against. And that's really hard because it's like trying to capture lightning in a bottle again, right? Wrapping up both the trilogy and 3 trilogies is incredibly ambitious, but ambitious for the right reasons. I don't feel that there's a more serious and appropriate movie for me at the age 68, almost 69, to be making, which is good to be able to say. Even coming into 2012, I always felt that Star Wars was important. People ask, what are you going to do to Star Wars? Carter continued. Star Wars is fun. It's a bunch of gadgets and spacecraft, but it can't last 40 years. Everyone was crazy. I just lost my page here. Hang on. Everyone went crazy with that. How many of those kinds of stories can you have out there in public consciousness? Star Wars has to be something different. Its metaphors are much closer than that. The more you say a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the more I think, like Luke's, every word on what you just said is wrong. Star Wars is close, close, close right now. All right, there you have it. And I think we have a few more pictures. And yes, Mr. Rez, a lot of words. I thought, yeah, that's what happens. You guys make me read. I'm not ready for this. I graduated college and went back. I shouldn't be reading to you folks. Oh, let's see. What do we have here? What's this picture that we have here? This is the Snow Planet by Shuffles. Okay, so here's the Snow Planet, and that's pretty much close up. Oh, Vader's girl, how are you doing today? Stopping by again. Good to see you here. So that's what we have. But it goes off into usually when they do these big 2-page, it's like a big spread. But this is the close up, and this is the far away one. Just getting to you there. So almost there. Almost there. Stay on target. Dale, February 16th is my birthday. And there's been a lot of dates in here because of filming that happened in February that either happened right before, on, or right after my birthday. So I always bring those up. So why wouldn't you? It's my birthday. Okay, we got some, we know what this is going to end up being. We've already seen some of this stuff.
Mhm.
So we have the Oracle here by Voy. These aren't as crazy or as insane as some of the other ones we've seen. The other one, with the
No, previously in the book, yeah.
some of the ones earlier were a lot creepier, but you have the baby head down there with the spider creature growing out of the top of it, which was kind of freaky.
Yeah, there was a couple rounds of septic tank talk that got took into.
I believe so. Oh, we got a little glare here. Let's see if we can get rid of that. So put that clip on there, see if that does that. Oh, and I just broke the clip.
There we go.
I had to put the little condom back on the clip. All right, so here we go. I'm not really sure what we got here. Looks like Ray climbing up something. Could be from the training scene. Oh, I'm showing you sideways. Right there.
Yeah, that's very Agent Kloss looking.
And then we got a little bit of looks like Ray with the lightsaber. So what do we have here? This one up here. Ray climbing version 7 by Northcutt. So Ray does a little bit more of climbing around mirrored in the Force Awakens traversing like she did inside the busted Star Destroyer on Jakku. That's Klein. And then this one down here is just Ray inside Vault version 2.
Okay, so inside Vault is when she finds the Wayfinder.
Okay, and then this right here. Let's see if I can get that up a little better here. This right here is Kylo Rooftop by Voy. So that's Kylo while he's on the Death Star waiting for Rey. And then we have this one down here, which is just Death Star Rooftop version 2 by Klein. Try and get that picture in there. We have the Death Star Surface by Voy. And we have the Death Star Fight version 4 by Northcutt and Klein. The duel on the Death Star was going to be one of the Return of the Jedi hangars, flipped on its side, and water would be crashing through the opening. Klein. So we got right down there, we got a couple people fighting. But it looks like they both have, let's see if I can get this to come in.
It's Rey to the left and Kylo Ren to the right. Yeah.
But it looks like Kylo's got 2 lightsabers. It's hard to tell, and I can't focus in. You guys are actually probably getting a better one than I'm getting right now using this little baby notebook to see. Because the screen, I have a regular screen, but the way it shows on my the window that I'm looking at, it's smaller than a cell phone screen for my picture.
No, I can make out the quillions on the hilt of his lightsaber. I can see what everybody calls a crossguard.
All right, now we have this next page.
Just one blade.
This next page is going to be the Jetty Duel by Voy. So we got. Oh, there they are down there. I found them. So yeah, that seems to be pretty massive for them. How much more do we have left of this book? It's got to be close to the end. A couple more pages for you. Okay, and this is the dual wide version. You can see them there, right there. I mean, you can't really see them. And I guess you'd have to get a magnifying glass to really see how close in or how kind of detailed they are. They just have little, do they have little bodies, or is it really defined as really small? Because the rest of it looks pretty well with definition, just getting into the waves and the rest of the Death Star. But we have dual wide version by Voy up there, and then Death Star version 221 by Northcutt down here. Okay, up here we have Temple by Voy. This is Temple 1. Over here we have Temple 2 by Voy. Exegol version 1.
Oh, we're getting Exegol now. Yeah.
Well, I didn't go close in on this one. And this is Fleet Staggering Area version 1 by Voy. Okay, and most likely the Star Destroyers are all coming up from being some kind of city, because there are moments where Kylo is walking through a bit of the ruins. It's not just one structure, but it's also not a massive city. Early on, it was going to be an old Macquarie version of Coruscant. The vibe is still similar on Exegol, but it's evolved into ruins that have been there for millennia. That's by Klein. Okay. We got some more. We got a lot of Star Destroyers in this picture, in this book.
Oh, my favorite ships. My favorite ships.
Yeah, I hit up Jeff yesterday. I don't know what he was doing to come, because I wanted to talk to him about some of those pictures that we saw. But not everybody can come every time. Some people have lives besides me in Star Wars. So, but you guys know me, I cheat when I'm at work. So if I am working, I try and have my playlist going, or I got something going. I mean, not that anybody from work could ever watch that, but if they ever did, that's a lie. But okay, so up here we have, move that back a little bit. Up here is the Fleet Wide Shot version 7. How do these massive Star Destroyers emerge from the ground? At one point, they were in these big hangars, but right now, JJ is like the idea that they're just buried. The concept wasn't there before this illustration. I was just showing that there would be some dirt that fell off on top of the Star Destroyers, and then as they're lifting, the falling sand was just an easy way to give it some scale. He liked the idea a lot. Whether they're buried or in hangars all remains to be seen. from Klein. This one over here, we have some Resistance B-Wing version 2. I always love the Joe Johnston B-Wing and the B-Wing in general. I love how this feels like a flying knife. Fortunately, JJ responded to it as well. The approach was looking at an old X-Wing versus a new X-Wing. It's relatively the same ship, but slicker. It's got more of an edge to it, like going from an F-14 to an F-16. They are essentially the same silhouette, but there's a lot of changes in the details. We're building the B-Wing at ILM, and it will be the fleet at the end, from Klein. And then this little guy down here is just a Resistance B-Wing version 1 by Klein and Joe Johnston. Okay, we only got this. Is this the last? No, we got another page after this. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, though, folks. You're going to be here at the end. The first complete
the tie dagger.
Holocron House deep dive. Because, as you know, we stopped the other deep dive to start this one up when this book came out, because that's what the Patreons voted on, so that's what they got. Okay, so we got a destroyer. We got some looks like a TIE fighter, and we have another destroyer. Try and get that glare off for you. I'll unplug it here. All right, so get it back on there for you. Oh, Christina's been here the whole time. She was just watching on her TV. Oh, so you had it on the big screen watching it while your phone was charging. Sith Star Destroyer, paint version 2 by Klein. And then you have the Sith, the paint version 2. JJ really wanted to give these their own little look without changing it too much. So I spent weeks doing different red lines, he said. It's like blood on the edge of a knife. So we thought, red, just on the edges. Here and there, I really hesitated to add too many graphics to things, but we eventually landed on this, just to set the new Imperial fleet apart. So, yeah, I mean, those kind of... I think maybe that does look a little bit more intimidating than just having it be red all around the edges completely.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So we have the Star Destroyer version 7 right there. Okay, and then this is a Star Destroyer Battle version 2 by Whalen.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go, that big bad boy right here. Let's try and get that full view for you. Oh yeah, I might have to get into the Star Destroyer Sundays or Saturdays. I got a month or two worth of pictures to go with these, but yeah, we see.
I know. I just found and dug up a bunch.
We got a picture here of an Imperial Star Destroyer being broken in half, and you can see it right in there that, you know, it's in two pieces now. There's definitely two people. It's in a lot more than two pieces, but two main pieces. And then you still have a few more destroyers around here. Looks like an A-wing. Got the X-wing going over there. And you have the Index. But it's not over yet, folks. One last picture. Maybe one last one. Oh, there's more after this. So here we go. We got the... You know what? If I raise this up, we get a little less glare. So and raise this up a little bit right quick here for you. On the last fucking page. Oh, they're going to hit me now. They're going to yell at me for swearing. Sorry, folks. See, I still like it at the better angle over there. You can get more in at the... But this got rid of the glare, so... I guess I just back it up a little bit. and raise that up. And I mean, yeah, there you can see. Let's see. Does it tell us on this page what it is? I mean, not that we can't tell, but okay. Nope, they're gonna let us think for ourselves. So obviously you have Rey and Kylo. I think this is when they're still on the ship before the Millennium Falcon comes up.
Looks good.
Comes up here, and Rey does her super jump on there. Is what I'm gonna guess is going on here. Well, you know what? We've done all this. We might as well finish off the book properly. Acknowledgements
That
to
looks
George
very planet bound. No clouds in space.
On this one. Yeah, I guess you're right. I wasn't even paying attention to that. They're in atmosphere somewhere. Because you wouldn't have the clouds if they were in space. But now, where were they when she made the jump? Were they in outer space, or were they just hovering over Kijimi for that? And had they moved at all while they were there looking for them? And then again, 95% of this is concept art, so they might have said, draw us a picture, and that's what we got.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay.
That's right.
Right here, we have the acknowledgments to George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy, without whom none of this would be possible, to J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, Rick Carter, Kevin Jenkins, Neil Scanlon, Jamie Wilkinson, Andrew Booth, and all of the filmmakers and artists, while in the midst of the rise of Skywalker, somehow found a little time to chat. To Josh Tate, Cam Chapman, Lizzie Lean at Pinewood Studios for facilitating my visit, and extra special thanks to Kyle Wetton for many months of managing all of the artwork found on these pages. To Eric Keploff, Liam Flagan, Connor Leonard, and Denise Lacongo at Abrams, and Robert Simpson at Lucasfilm Publishing for all of their heavy lifting and editing and assembling and all the contemporary art of Star Wars books. To Kristen Beaver and Lucasfilm online team for your warm encouragement, sharp eye, and sympathetic ear. To Mike Siglon, Troy Alders, and Sammy Holland in Lucasfilm Publishing, Carrie Hart, Pablo Hidalgo, Leland Chi, Matt Martin, Steve Blank, and the Lucastorm Philly Group, and Steve Newman, Tim Mapp, Gabriel Levinson, Nicole LaGravassier. Does she say her name LaGravassier, or does she pronounce it differently? That's something for us to probably never know. Bryce Plinko and Eric Sanchez and Lucasfilm's asset team for 1,000,001 assists. If I was there, it would have been 1,000,002 because I put that extra into it. To my team, Doug Chang, Jenna Elkins, Jennifer Hasu, and the entire Lucasfilm art department, for their patience, I put these books together. Lastly, most importantly, to my family, Joseph, Barbara, Martin, David, Grace, and Leo Sutsak. Why can't I say his name right now? And friends. Sosak. Okay. And I can usually say it right. It's just so many words right now. I can't even talk. Leah Atchinson, Sean and Sarah Declan, Mike and Lucy Bates, Matt Davies, Sean Hunter, Chris Wales, and Tina Fosella for everything. I mean, that's just an extra bunch of names, but you know what? Without me naming them, well, me naming them really doesn't make change anything. But, without them, this book wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't have spent, the last 20 hours or so, however long it was, going over it. Figure each one was an hour and a half, and there was 12, so it was probably about 20 hours of chat with you guys about this book. So here we go. Here's the Kylo Ren coming in with all of the beautiful, beautiful Sith troopers. Yeah. Is that it? Is that the last one? And no, one more. One more we have here. All right. There we go.
What do you have?
That seems to be from the temple, going to the Jedi temple from the pictures we saw a few pages ago. That would be maybe my guess because you have over there. And this is just the picture without the temple there.
Oh,
so that
all right.
concludes. That concludes the Art of the Rise of Skywalker. Deep dive into the book. Mr. Ez
Deep
said it
long
felt like
dive.
10,000 hours. So we have the next we're going to finish up the visual dictionary for the Rise of Skywalker that we were in the middle of, but then this book came out, and the patrons on my Patreon decided to that they wanted to go with this book instead and go through this book, and we'll go back to that other book. And then, anybody can voice their opinion on what book they want to do next. But obviously, the patrons kind of have first choice at the following book after we get rid of the VD. You gotta get rid of the VD so we can move on to the next one. But
I hope you bookmarked where we left off at.
Probably not. I'll just have to go back through and check and see the last one that we did.
Because I don't rightly remember where we left off.
I think you said you were going to bookmark it, but we also just kind of stopped. We were in the middle of doing it, and we just stopped and went into this one. So we're going to finish up that one, and then, I have art books, or if you want to do something different, I have a lot of books that I got recently that I'm going to do, just by myself, quick little videos. They won't be chats. I'm just going to put them up. And if any of those books people want me to do in depth, we'll put that on the list. Once again, the patrons get first choice, but other people can throw their book into the hat, and we see what we get.
Well, I can't wait to see what the Patreon poll is going to look like.
I'm not really going to do a poll. I'm going to just let the patrons give their input on it, because that way I'm not putting down to a couple books. I have all of the art of books. I have all of the visual dictionaries. Let me refer. I do not have all of the art of books. I am still waiting for episode 4 and 5 to arrive, and I think I might have episode 3. Oh no, I don't have episode 3. Episode 3 is one of the expensive ones. It's like $200, I think. But 1 and 2, I think I have on my list. I'm just waiting for a good price drop. But you still have 7 and 8 we can do, and then we can do 4, 5, and 6. So the prequels are going to have to wait. Some of the books might not take as long. Like if somebody wants to put in the costumes, I have the book of costumes. I actually have both of them. I have the prequels and the OT book, which the prequels one was 10 times as expensive as the original trilogy book. The prequel book is the one that I got the really good deal on that I've been waiting for. Otherwise, I can't afford to spend $500 on a book that I'm only going to look at every, whenever. Maybe someday, but all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. You got about 17 minutes. I'm not sure if they're recording live or not. I haven't been on the Twitter for a little while. But if Pizza and Parsecs is recording live, they'll be doing their live YouTube show at 3 o'clock. If not,
Did you hit them up and ask?
I did not. I was busy talking to y'all. But if they're not doing a live show at 3 o'clock, just go ahead and make sure you subscribe to them and check them out because they're a lot of fun. I had them on the Box Tank a few weeks ago, and that was a blast. I think we talked.
Mm-hmm.
They were on for about an hour and a half or 2 hours. We had a Star Wars actor friend of mine come on and talk with them too. But we started off, I think the first half hour, 45 minutes, we talked about food before we talked about Star Wars. So that's what happens sometimes when you get in the Box Tank. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, let me know. You got some time. Let me know what book you wanted to do a deep dive into after we do the VD. Get rid of the VD. And with that, I say good day. May the Force
be with you.
Throw it up
into Patreon.